As the ice hockey game gets super intense, Sofia's going all out to lock in the win, but an opponent totally rattles her, and she's this close to losing it. Thankfully, her teammates and the ref swoop in to save the day, diffusing the drama. With her dad, Santo, and mom, Ingrid, cheering from the stands, Santo's all chill about Sofia's reaction, saying she's got every right to clap back when someone's poking her. As the clock ticks down, Sofia pulls off a slick scoop, and in a hot second, the puck's chilling in the opponent's net. Just in time. The whole rink goes wild, players and spectators losing it with pure hype. Outside the arena, Sofia's catching up with Hakeem, chatting away. But when his wife asks about him, Santo has no opinion. One thing's for sure though, is that this dad's keeping a sharp eye on his girl, making sure nothing shady goes down. Sofia's crossing her fingers that her dad sticks to his promise, even though Ingrid's totally stressing that a woods trip sounds risky. He holds firm to his word, set on taking his daughter out there, especially since she's basically an adult and about to snag her driver's license. They hit the road, with Sofia gripping the wheel, weaving through gnarly trails and rocky streams while her dad drops quick tips. She's absolutely buzzing, letting out hype squeals and flashing grins that scream pure joy. They pull up to a spot, hop out, and trek a bit to a chill lookout by a lake with mountains looming. Santo opens up about moving here way back for his love for his wife, and his daughter beams, marveling at how lucky her mom scored. Sofia then pivots fast to her upcoming plans with Hakeem, and her dad gives a nod, even vowing to sweet-talk Ingrid when Sofia pushes hard. Time to roll home, but Sofia begs for a selfie with her dad to lock in the memory. Santo shuts it down, reminding her he's no fan of pics. At the car, this dude tweaks the side mirror for the trip back, but his hyped-up daughter has other plans. She sneaks a quick snap of him, totally clueless, and posts it on her socials with a caption shouting out her tough dad. Tragically, Rudy and his boss, who've been scoping out Santo, catch the post's ping. The face lines up with their intel, and it's go time. As the fam, Ingrid, her brother Patrick, and Sofia gears up for dinner, Santo's running late, tinkering with a busted saw. Two hitmen slip into the house, spotting Ingrid first and smashing her leg with a weapon, sending her crashing hard. The second hitman clocks Patrick in the face, but this dude fights off another blow, sparking a fierce tug of war. The hitmen quickly overpower the siblings, nailing Ingrid in the face to knock her out cold and pummeling Patrick's body until he's out, recording his face for proof. Sofia catches a scream, rushes to check, and spots her mom getting brutalized, letting out a gasp that tips off one hitman. He chases her, so she leaps from the balcony, dodging bullets while sprinting across an open field. Santo, done fixing his saw, rolls home late, only to find Ingrid and Patrick lifeless in a pool of blood. Gutted, he yells for his daughter.
Sofia! Sofia!
Sofia sneaks back, still wrecked with grief, hoping for a call to help, but her dad, resigned, insists they're gone and they've gotta bounce now. He hustles her into the car and they peel out. Sofia's desperate for answers, confused why they're running instead of doing what's right, but Santo's pleas for patience don't vibe. Fed up, she yanks the handbrake to grab his attention, but her dad lets out a sharp yell, shutting her down for the rest of the drive. Rudy's boss dials him up for a mission update only to hear that Sofia slipped away, and he's seriously salty about the fumble. Santo whisks his daughter to a safe house for the night, but this queen's just trying to process the total chaos they're in. Her dad stays tight-lipped, offering zero answers, so Sofia starts to storm off. He grabs her, letting out a sharp yell to reset her head, urging her to chill and not pull anything dumb that could put them in deeper danger. Don Angelo meets Rudy, checking the mission's recorded tape, but he clocks that the victim isn't Santo, sparking major rage. The game's still on for Rudy and his crew, and while they scheme another hit on their main target, Santo shaves his beard, switching up his look, haunted by flashes of himself shooting a dude. Sofia's fed up with the secrecy, and while her dad rummages through cupboards, snagging passports and burner phones, she yanks down shelves in a fit. Santo snatches her, arm finally caving to her demands. He spills that he ran shady deals before meeting Ingrid. The Mafia's danger gets laid bare. Once you're in, snitching's off the table and they'll wipe out rivals and their families, no matter who gets caught in the crossfire. Sofia's livid, blasting her dad for keeping this hush, even pinning her mom's death on him, figuring she'd never have posted his pic online if she'd known the truth. Santo, now a scorned dad, gears up for war, slinging a bag packed with weapons and ammo. Before bouncing, he hands his daughter Sofia a phone, instructing her to only pick up his calls, nothing else, and vows to fix the chaos and return for her. Sofia wrestles with the urge to dial other numbers, but sticks to her plan, ringing Hakeem to spill her location and beg for a rescue from her dad, who she's convinced is a total villain. As her boyfriend clues her in that cops are hunting for her, someone's quietly tracking her call's location. An old dude shuffles into a deserted restaurant, heading for the storehouse, but Santo, hell-bent on revenge, ambushes him, grabbing his neck from behind and slamming him to the ground. He smashes the old dude's head against a cabinet, blood spilling across his face, and demands to know why he's there and who's behind the attack. The guy's slow response earns a knife to his side, and it sparks pain screams as he starts bleeding out, while at the same time he swears he doesn't know who attacked, and he adds that even if he did, snitching would still send him to his grave. Santo snaps back that staying quiet will still land him in hell by his hand, yet spilling could at least save him for a hospital bed. So, under the strain, he names Marino and Rudy as the attackers, and then he wails in agony as Santo orders him to pray for survival, and he yanks the knife out, leaving him crumpling to the floor while barely clinging to consciousness. Hakeem pulls up to the safe house, and Sofia's hyped, jumping onto his bike as they speed off. Seconds into their getaway, tearing down the tarred road, they zip past a car that seems headed their way. It screeches to a stop, flips around, and kicks off a hot chase. Santo rolls back to the safe house, finding only the phone and an eerie calm signaling his daughter Sofia's gone. He bolts outside, spots bike tire marks, and jumps into his car, peeling out fast. The hitman keeps chasing the young lovers, firing shots as they speed into the woods, but a fallen branch wrecks their bike, sending it and them crashing to the ground. The hitman catches up, blasts Hakeem in the head, grabs this Queen Sofia, and shoves her down. She refuses to stay helpless, spitting in his face, which seriously ticks him off. He yanks her up, gripping her lazily from behind, giving her a shot to slam her head into his face. She bolts, but the hitman snags her again. Her teeth sink into his hand, but the pain doesn't stop him from tying her hands, taping her mouth, and stuffing her in the car's trunk. He tries to drive off, but Santo screeches in, smashes the hitman's face into the steering wheel, and when the dude tries to shoot, Santo dodges and drags him out. He lands heavy punches, but the hitman pulls a knife, stabbing this scorned dad in the side. As Santo regroups, the hitman fires at him, now ducked behind a tree. Sofia, never backing down, frees herself, escapes the trunk, and bashes the hitman's head with a chunk of wood until he stumbles, letting her dad dive in and slam him to the ground. The guy reaches for his gun, but Santo grabs his hand, twisting until the bone snaps, making him wail like a total baby. Santo snatches the gun, and as the terrified man pleads, he tells Sofia to look away before pulling the trigger. This scorned dad and his daughter lock eyes, then glance at the dead hitman, with Sofia reeling, not just from the Mafia goon, but from seeing her boyfriend Hakeem lifeless nearby. At Don Angelo's pad, his son Michel raises red flags about exposing their shady business to nosy outsiders, labeling his dad's vendetta a waste of energy. This totally irks Don Angelo, killing his appetite on the spot. The old boss surges up in a fury, smacking Michel for dissing his revenge mission, which is a personal crusade against Santo, the dude who took out his other son. Don Angelo figures Michel should be hyped to slit Santo's throat, not chilling behind screens crunching financial numbers. He's dead set on avenging his son, no matter who gets caught in the crossfire. Santo and his daughter Sofia embark on a lengthy drive into town, and she can't help but notice her dad wincing in pain. He brushes it off, claiming it's just a minor wound. They hit up a store to grab fresh threads and supplies to keep their escape going. While Sofia handles the shopping, news of the chaos back home already floods TV screens. She hauls the supplies to her dad, who patches up his wound and gets ready for the road ahead. Sofia takes the wheel to give her papa time to heal, but before they roll out, she presses him on when they'll stop dodging and running. Santo offers a hopeful response, easing her worries. Back at the residence, Don, Angelo, and Michelle have a heart-to-heart, with the old boss apologizing for the earlier slap, but first doubling down on taking out Santo. They welcome Dr. Ferrari, the tech guru who tracked Santo after his photo went viral, and task him with scouring Milan's surveillance cameras to pinpoint this scorned dad and his daughter. Santo, meanwhile, hijacks a car and heads for Milan, but his and Sofia's names are plastered across the news, branding him a criminal tied to recent deaths. They spot a house with a for sale sign, and Santo signals his daughter to pull over, then he hops out and breaks in. Sofia gets a text from her dad to come inside, and when she enters, she finds him grimacing in pain. She tends to him until he passes out, spiking her panic. She then grabs all the cash she can find and bolts to a nearby pharmacy, seeking help. The Asian women there brush her off, refusing assistance, but Sofia waves the cash, pleading for a doctor. Finally, they cave and follow her back to the house. As Santo slips into a coma, the Asian women roll in and start treatment, but he keeps flashing back to the day his daughter Sofia was born. After the medical hustle, with him slowly pulling through, Sofia digs up a letter meant for her only if he doesn't make it. In it, he spills about his dark past, living by guns and thriving as an assassin. Everything flipped when she came into his life, showing him what love's really about. He ditched the underworld grind, devoting himself to a new vibe, love, as his religion. Dr. Ferrari swings by to update Michelle, who's chilling with some bare-chested women, having a blast. Ferrari lays out Don Angelo's plan to keep hunting the dude who killed Michelle's brother and pitches a fake-out, acting like he's searching while slacking off. But Michelle shuts it down, knowing his old man's sharp enough to see through any scam. The crew starts running faces through databases, locking onto Santo and Sofia's location. They bust into a house, finding it empty, but spotting signs that he and his daughter crashed there overnight. They keep scanning facial recognition, tracking their last known spot. At the next hideout, a hitman snags some random dude while Rudy creeps into the main building. Meanwhile, Sofia hotwires a car and peels out, leaving dust behind. Rudy sweeps the rooms, hitting one where he finds the doctors. When he yanks down a curtain, he spots a woman hiding. Just then, Santo bolts past in the hallway, catching the hitman's eye, who gives chase. Santo then sprints up the stairs with the hitman hot on his tail, ready to blast on sight. He ducks into a corner, smacking the gun from the Mafia goon's hand. A wild scuffle breaks out with the two shoving each other into walls. Sofia's dad slams the hitman's head into a glass panel, shattering it, then hurls him down the stairs. Sofia parks the van, steps out, and wanders off, only to get stopped by another hitman pointing a gun and demanding she freeze. From the balcony, her dad clocks the threat, firing a clean shot to the hitman's head, dropping him instantly. Realizing the Mafia won't quit until they're both wiped out, Santo decides to flip the script and go on the attack. First, though, he needs to school this queen on self-defense and handling weapons, even if it's a last-minute crash course. This weathered dad kicks off with a knife class, schooling his daughter on how to wield a blade against an enemy. She picks it up fast, slicing into a hanging sack with precision, but her dad dives deeper, explaining the art of striking for maximum impact, going straight for the heart to ensure the enemy never bounces back, or, for a more brutal vibe, slashing the jugular so the foe has just enough time to lock eyes with their attacker before choking on their own blood. After the training session wraps, Santo lays out his big plan to relocate them to South Africa once their mission's in the bag. But Sofia can't shake the heavy guilt over her mom's death. Her mind's stuck on how her stubbornness landed them in this total mess. She pours out an apology for her mistake, even though her dad keeps brushing it off, insisting she's not to blame. Then they share a heartfelt father-daughter moment, chatting about one of Santo's favorite books, and it ends with a warm hug, as Sofia lets her dad know she trusts him completely, no question. Sofia heads out to a designated building, scoping out the security officers, and she's sneaky enough to snap pics of them, sending them to her dad for the plan. When one of the guards approaches, this queen's quick wit lets her talk her way out, keeping things smooth and low-key. Meanwhile, Santo breaks into some random dude's car, forcing the guy to drive into a car park. Once they're both out, Santo knocks the dude out cold with a swift move. He slips into the control room, grabs the security guy, and slams his head against the wall, making him input the access code. As Santo moves deeper into the building's main areas, Sofia, ever the badass, lights an explosive and sets it in a waste bin to cause a distraction. Sofia hustles to the garage, hops into a car, and gets ready for action, while her dad sneaks into Michelle's office, using the chaos from the small explosion outside to his advantage. He snags Michelle as a hostage, hauling him out while threatening to end him if anyone tries to stop them. Santo makes it to the garage with security hot on his tail, but after shoving Michelle into the back of the car, the dude he knocked out earlier wakes up and tries to shoot. Sofia proves she's no slouch, tackling the guy, dragging him a bit, and dumping him on the ground. This leaves him open, but Santo fights back, blasting at the officers as everyone ducks for cover. The crossfire keeps raging, but neither side takes a hit. Santo drops low, aiming for the officer's leg, bringing him down, and this gives him just enough room to join Sofia, who's back at the car. Another car catches up and she takes the wheel, stepping up to drive hard, reversing full speed before peeling out, as the pursuing men chase after them. The cars race neck and neck, each driver trying to nudge the other off the road, but both Santo and the pursuing driver are super stubborn, neither willing to back down or give an inch. Then, Santo lines up a perfect shot, sending a bullet straight into the driver's neck, and the enemy car swerves hard, crashing into a parked vehicle, which ends the wild chase as Santo and his daughter Sofia speed away to safety. In their hideout, they keep Michelle tied up with his mouth covered, and they force him to sit on the floor while they snap his picture. The father sends the hostage's photo to Don Angelo, along with a bold message demanding he show up within the hour and own up to being a hardcore crime mastermind for the last 3 decades. The message lays out serious demands, insisting Don spill all his contacts, his accomplices, the crew backing him, and every single detail about the accounts he runs, or else he'll lose another son, just like before. Santo adds a warning that the news needs to broadcast Don's shady deeds ASAP, or he'll have to face the consequences and deal with the chaos. Meanwhile, Dr. Ferrari gets called in for his tech wizardry, and, as always, he comes through big time, pinpointing the exact location where the hostage photo was sent from, so Rudy and his crew can roll out and handle the mission. Rudy and his gang creep up to the hideout aiming to free Michelle, but a bullet from nowhere nails one of the guys, and the rest of them dive for cover, scrambling to stay safe. Then, another gang member takes a hit in the leg from Santo's sniper shot, and before he can recover, a second bullet rips through his head. The crew's totally thrown, not knowing what's hitting them, as this former assassin keeps switching vantage points, picking them off one by one with deadly precision, never missing a shot. They finally spot him, and they fire off a few rounds, but their shots don't faze him, and he sprints across the area, making their efforts totally pointless. From another sneaky spot, Santo triggers an explosive device, and the blast takes out several men, setting some on fire while they're still alive. As one burning victim stumbles toward Rudy, the leader shoots to keep him from getting too close, trying to control the chaos. While the madness unfolds, Santo stays hidden, and Rudy searches the hideout, desperate to track him down. Rudy finally catches a glimpse and fires, but the shot only grazes Santo, shattering glass in his face and doing little real damage. This weathered dad plays it smart, confusing Rudy and making him chase shadows, running in circles. As Rudy snoops around, Santo leaps from above, driving a knife deep into the hitman's back, and then stabs his side, pulling heavy screams from Rudy, who's now in serious pain. Rudy kneels before his attacker, but still has the guts to lecture Santo about Don Angelo, the big boss who'd rather save his empire than his son. Santo pushes back, defending his fallen family members, yet Rudy throws shade, calling it a mistake to have loved ones, as if building a family was a total rookie move. This dumb advice sparks fury in Santo, so he stabs Rudy's jugular over and over, watching him choke on his own blood. Meanwhile, Daddy's princess meets tied up Michelle and pulls off his gag, letting him beg for freedom. But she stays ice cold and doesn't budge. Michelle launches a quick smear campaign, dragging her dad as inhumane and irrational, spilling that Santo ended his brother's life and took out others too. He dangles a chance for Sofia to escape her dad's dark side by freeing him, begging to be untied, but this queen brushes it off and answers a ringing phone instead. It's her dad Santo on the call, set on handling things his way, admitting he knew it had come to a brutal path. Sofia suspects this won't end well for him, so she pleads for him to come back to her, but he ignores. Meanwhile, the cops pick up the calls trail and move to hit Santo and Sofia at their separate locations. Santo's already at the compound, hitting the ground running as he takes out the first security guard, and without pausing, he charges inside, drawing fire from another before ending that dude's life as well. He's sharp and relentless, fending off threats with quick shots fired at close range, and then he grabs a soldier in the scuffle, snags his gun to blast another guy across the way, and follows through by shooting the nearest one with his own weapon. His mission is clear. And it's simple. Grab Don Angelo and wipe him off the planet for good. After dropping every last guard standing in his path, Santo storms toward the big boss's chambers and he smashes his way inside. Don Angelo immediately warns that Sofia will face trouble if he's taken out, but Santo stays locked in on the goal, pulling out twine, wrapping it tight, and strangling the old man until he's gone. Fresh off his mission, Santo struts out but runs into a squad of armed men pointing AKs at him, demanding he raise his hands. Instead, he reaches for something, and they unleash a barrage of bullets, dropping him to his knees and then flat on the ground. Sofia senses her dad's fate but keeps her cool when the cops show up. Instead of locking her up, they take her in with a warm hug, as memories of her dad linger in her mind. At her dorm, 18-year-old Sofia gets a visit from Michelle, who shares the news that no charges are coming her way, so the judge will clear her of any wrongdoing. He feels bad that they're both paying for their dad's sins and hopes they can move past it, but Sofia's too hurt to hear him out. For Michelle, it's a win-win, a fresh start for both, and he hands her his card, telling her to hit him up if she ever needs anything. In a car with Dr. Ferrari, Michelle plots to take her out, planning to strangle her with a rope, just like her dad did to his. But Sofia, trained sharp by her dad, reads his favorite book, takes a cue, and sneaks out of the facility she's in. Dr. Ferrari swings by to visit but finds Sofia gone, so he calls Michelle to spill the tea. He walks into his office and sees her sitting pretty, stunned at how she got in. She steps close, revealing she used his card and a smile, then calls out his fake peace offering. In a flash, she whips out a knife ninja style, piercing Michelle's chin, and he drops, choking on his blood. For Sofia, the new vibe is clear. Mercy's a weakness, so she vows never to show it. Set on this path, she walks out, head held high. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and you also might enjoy watching these. Thanks.